Hey, instead of Steve, please like and subscribe. Please click on the Deck Heroes icon. Click on subscribe. It's 100% free. Blood in, blood out. And also click on notifications so that you don't miss any amazing content. All right, so we got some people all decided to delete dating apps. So I assume that the reason would be because they found somebody, and that's congratulations. You know what I mean? Everybody wants to meet somebody. Oh no, different reason. Okay, let's see what that reason is.
Officially done with dating right now. I deleted my apps, taken a break, but I figured I would share some of my best, worst stories that I have. One weird one was I went on this date for like 7 hours, this guy, because we could not stop talking. We were vibing so well. Called him a few days later and he was like, "Hey, so good to hear from you. I'm in a really loud bar. Let me call you right back." I never heard from him again. He never responded to any message or call I ever sent again. Like, I'm pretty sure he died, but I don't know the last name to find out. After my second date with someone, the guy texted me and asked me to rate our kiss from 1 to 10. And this guy love bombed me so hard. He was like, "You're my dream girl. How are you single? Like, I could marry you." Obviously, I fell for all of it. I think I ever heard from him again. Nope. And one guy.
The one thing I will say is that if somebody is a little bit too quick to kind of like love bomb, I think she mentioned that's a great word. If somebody's a little bit too quick, in my experience, to like me, and I feel like they're liking me for very little, you know what I mean? Yeah. Also for me, never hear from them again. Never, but I haven't made a. I'm not even mentioning it now because you've mentioned it. So I don't know if I'd make a video on it in itself, but anyway, let's see the next story.
That I was dating for like a month, asked me to give him a ride to the airport. And I was like, okay, sure. Found out he was flying to Ohio to meet another girl. They now have a baby together, so glad I could help.
Since me and you are friends now, I'm going to give you a little bit of advice.
Hold on. So, flying to Ohio. So another guy. I mean, how does she even know this? Did he say, "Oh, by the way, oh, I've arrived safely"? My girl has picked me up. What do you mean, your girl? Yeah, she's pregnant. Just had a kid. I mean, I'd love to know the full extent of that story. Anyway, we're very early in, so we're gonna go straight into the next video and hear what this young lady here has to say.
Delete it. Do not look at me like that. I know you have it. Hinge. Bumble and Bumble. Plenty of Fish. Ooh, that one's horrible. Tinder. Delete it. You've been on there for 6 months. Have you met anybody? Maybe even a year. All the dates you've been on have been what? Trash. Delete it. Delete the app. You're going to press on it. You're going to hold it down. And when it starts to do that wiggly thing, you're going to hit the little X and it's going to be gone. And you're not going to download it again. Because next...
Just a second, because this is really, I'm joking, I just find it fun, but at the same time, it's quite serious because if you've been on there for 6 months or a year, you got to look at. Listen, I'm going to do a video on this anyway, right? But you need to look at the photos that you put on there. Is there like one photo? Is it just head? Is it the nice photo? Did you put any effort into it? Is it kind of full body? What did you say in your text? Are you saying some really stupid, off-putting things like, I don't know, I'm a feminist? Like, you got a nose stud. There could be a million things. Or you got like tattoos down your arms. What are you doing to limit your choices on your profile? That's what the advice should be. Don't repeat mistakes. Or as maybe you go out so much, you haven't really got time to do the online dating, then that's a reason. Or as I said right at the start, maybe you've met somebody. That's the best reason of all, not to online date. So let's hope that she's got one of these golden reasons, or a substantive reason other than that you've been in there for 6 to 12 months. Before I go on though, if you've been on there for 6 to 12 months and just say there was nothing wrong with your profile, right? Objectively wrong, there's nothing there, and you put in the effort into the messaging and you know what I mean, you're actually available for dates and all that kind of stuff, and basically the issue's not with you or not with us, right? The person who's got the app. Then you need to optimize all avenues to meet somebody. And these apps are free. These apps are free. It's not burning you just to stay on there, and you never know. But one thing that you do know is the more that you restrict your dating options, the less chance you've got. Anyway, let's go.
Year, you're not going to be on a dating app. I need you to get your hair done, your nails done, your lashes done, get in the gym, whatever's going to make you feel good about yourself. And I'm mad at you because you get invited to places and then you turn it down. How are you going to meet him if you never leave the house? You need to start going to these places. You know where I met my fiance? Somebody else's wedding, at an event. You need to get outside, okay? So delete the app. As a matter of fact, I might do a story time about my dating experience on dating apps so you can see that there's not, the girl already told y'all, there is nothing left. There's nothing left on the dating app. You need to get outside, and you're going to do it next year. Delete it.
Just a second, right? She kind of makes a point, but she's kind of referring back to her own experience. How long was she on a dating app before she met this guy? Say if she didn't meet this guy at that thing, say if he wasn't there, say if he was ill, then what? What you stay then all of a sudden being on the app just because of your kind of anecdotal experience, I'm thinking of Kevin Samuels now, because of your anecdotal experience, then that must apply to everybody. But listen, beyond the individual, you got to think just percentage wise as a group. And I think men who have to go out there and meet some people en masse, and I say most ladies on dating apps, not all, but a lot of women on dating apps, they get a lot of attention. So really maybe it's just kind of filtering through the ones who have already expressed an interest, number one, or on your app. Also, another thing is, how for women, how specific are you about the type of man that you want to meet? And yes, most guys aren't going to read the thing, they're just kind of visually driven, that's who men are, but some will, and that'll just avoid some of these time wasters. But sometimes you've got to cast that net, and if you don't want to cast the net, then you're going to be single. That's it, unless you get crazy lucky, and congratulations.
Do not look at me like that. I know you have it. Hinge.
In case you need more encouragement to delete that app, let me tell you about a guy that I met on Hinge that unalived his living wife. Okay, I still can't believe that this happened to me, but let's get into it. Of course.
No, just going to quickly stop to say, I hope that she's going to give some substantive proof about what happened. And of course, listen, does anybody out there think that there's no bad people in the world, including on dating apps, but you hear about it so infrequently that it's going to be anecdotal? But anyway, let's hear this story through. Yep.
We connected on Hinge, and we started communicating in the app. Back in my dating days, the first thing I would always ask a man is, are you really single? Do you have children? Are you married? Have you ever been married? Get straight to the point. He responded to me, I have 2 children and I shared them with my wife, but she died. She passed away. And I was like, oh my God, that's so sad. It was so early in us getting to know each other. I did not move any further in asking, like, how long has it been and what happened? I left things exactly where they were, and we moved on to more pleasant conversation. And then we started hanging out, and that was going well. And then he just randomly mentions that he has a brother, and that his brother is like a hood version of him. Now, to give you background on this guy, Black man, but there's no black, he's a Black man. He was very intelligent and spoke really well, and we both shared a love for sciences and math and things like that. But he felt like his brother didn't go the academic route with life and had been in and out of jail, and so he referred to him as the hood version of him. However, when he said this, I was thinking, I would like to see it.
Hold on. So they got. Oh my gosh! So hold on, you got the legit guy. You got the legit. I think we're talking about the reason. Yeah, look at the top middle. Why they deleted dating apps. Anyway, so you got the legit guy who you know where you stand, and then you've got the hood version who happens to be his brother, and you're fascinated by the hood guy. Listen, lady, we got nothing to listen from you. We got nothing to learn from you. You watch my videos and reflect on choices, or stick with the hood guy, which obviously you're more leaning towards, but please take ownership of it. It's not, whatever happens in the future, it's not down to him. It's not down to him, okay? It's down to your poor choices. Anyway, let's go.
I would like to see that. You know, if you look just like you, but a hood version, what does that look like? And so I joked about this with my friends, and I decided I'm gonna go and see if I can find this hood version of his brother. So I know his first and last name. I go on Facebook. It's not hard to find him. I find him on Facebook, and I'm going through his friends list for anyone that has the same last name as him, to which I come up on a male name. I click set a male's name, and their page is like semi-private, but I can see photos. I can see a few things. So when I go on the profile photos. The first one, it really didn't mean anything to me because it was his 2 kids, but they were next to 2 more kids that looked similar to his 2 kids. But he said that his brother looks just like him, so automatically I assume that his brother has kids and that they're close, which would make sense. Once I go to the next few pictures on said page, I notice that it's a woman. And I realized that this male name is actually a unisex name. And then I realized that this woman just posted maybe a week prior, a few days prior, and this woman is happily married to him with their 4 children. So now I'm like, okay, it's one thing that you said that your wife was no longer here, and she here, baby, she alive. But why you tell me about only 2 of the kids? Why you had to unalive the other 2 too? It was just too much. So I'm like, how do I tell him without letting him know that I've been snooping on his Facebook? And then I realized, honestly, none of that matters because he's a married man and I'm not moving forward or progressing in this whatever we were trying to figure out and whatever we were trying to do. So I'm like, hey, went on your Facebook, saw this name, clicked on said name. Your wife is still alive. To which he responded, well, she's dead to me. Delete that app. Get off of this video, press down, and delete that app.
Delete it.
Just a second. Okay, it's quite an interesting story actually going along, and I was not expecting it to go there. I was just more wondering, as I said, like why she seemed to be more fascinated about this hood brother. You know what I mean? That's very strange to go out scouting your man's brother like that, and I think she was obviously thirsty for his brother. And listen, either way, hon, she was not a keeper. But I think what she's saying, I don't know. So say if that would have happened exactly the same way, but it happened to be in a club, is that saying, listen, don't go to the club? Say that if that had happened in a book club, or don't bother meeting men in a book club. Say if that had happened, I don't know, through acquaintances. Don't trust any. Listen, just think of the logic of it. It's so silly. That's an isolated incident. But this is how. The only reason why I'm saying it, because it doesn't affect men, because men don't have a body clock. And I don't stand nothing to gain, but women do, and it's sad. So you got your prime years, and every day and every year. So I don't want to worry anybody, but say at minimum every year is a lost year, basically, and it gets significantly harder. And I think ladies have their prime years, and how we evaluate things. And if you're going to cut something off, it just needs to be a better reason. Do whatever you want to do. That's fine, and whatever the reason is the right reason. But the end results statistically are usually not favourable, and that's what's sad. Anyway, do whatever's happy, and best of luck, and peace and happiness to everybody. Anyway, let's listen to this next lady.
I did it, sis. I did it. I deleted the dating app. Lickety split. At first, I looked at you like, ooh, she don't know what she's talking about. But the dating apps is garbage, rubbish, basura, garbage. Yes, all of that. But I did it. And the moment I did, I met someone. And he's amazing. And baby, let me tell you, this man put me in my feminine.
Just a second, you can't really see it now. I just drawn into those eyelashes. And I'm just trying to guess from her age, obviously through that filter, which I don't know what I want to look at that, not just with her, but with all ladies. Like, well, you got to have that filter to hide something. It's like, obviously you're trying to pretty yourself with the filter. So anyway. Yeah, listen, I think if you've met somebody and you come off the app, that makes sense. But that's not a reason for people who have not met somebody to come off the app. But anyway, best of luck to you, young lady.
Did you hear me? He makes me feel delicate and safe. So delete it.
This is the real reason the dating apps are a complete waste of time for the majority of people, and I have not seen a single person break it down like this yet.
Again, I'm still thinking about that last video. Like, was it really just as simple? I might have to be a bit more selective, but the fact that she even bothered to put a video together, and I know I've reposted it, but I didn't know what was coming. She put a video together to say she's met somebody, so for that reason she no longer needs a dating app. Yeah, of course. Congratulations. Genuinely congratulations, but yes. Yes.
I really wish I had some better data to go off of, but I'm an information systems major, so I'm going to apply some stats here. My best guess is that 5% of people on the apps are in actual relationships and they're looking to cheat on their partner. That's unfortunately probably low, but I'm trying to be optimistic. Another 15% are fresh out of a breakup. They are trying to ease their pain and get under or over somebody as quickly as possible. Also probably low, but we're going to go with it. Now there's another 25% of people just looking for hookups, fun, whatever it is. And yes, I know that the apps have that like feature saying looking for something casual, but the majority of people actually looking for something casual aren't going to put that because they know their chances are way higher if they act like they actually want something with somebody. Now I'd say at least 30% of people have a dating app, but they're not actively using it. Or if they are, it's really just to match with people and message them for fun, not actively really wanting to go on dates. A lot of people just want instant validation. They just want to see what's out.
She's definitely talking about ladies now, isn't it? Just match up for the match, just for the sake of matching up and get a boost and that kind of validation. I don't think men do that at all. Men are looking to get a match. You know what I mean? There's always that one story I keep on telling about the lady. I can't remember if it was 700 or in the thousands of matches that she had on Tinder, and she reckons she was still single. Worked that one out.
Out there feel like they should be on the apps because why wouldn't you be if you're single? A lot of people experience burnout on apps. They just go in every now and then to check in, but they know that it's not actually a source that like they think that they could find somebody on. That's the majority of my friends. And then somewhere in that 80%, there are people that like have a situationship, are still talking to their ex, like they are looking but not really looking, leaving only about 20% wanting and actively looking for a relationship. Now out of that 20%, you have to find somebody that you're equally attracted to and like actually have potential with, which isn't necessarily the best odds. So like, is it possible to find people? Yes, of course. But because of all of these people on it for all the wrong reasons, it oversaturates the app. It makes it very difficult. Therefore, wasting a lot of people's time. Let me know what you guys think, but definitely my experience.
Recently deleted my Hinge and
Yeah, I think there's definitely a little bit of that. You know, you go, but that's the same with everything. That's the same with again. Like, say if you meet somebody in the mall, or say if you meet somebody in the club, you meet them in the bar, you meet them in the wherever you meet them. There's going to be some people who are not really up for the same things. You know what I mean? Not up for an actual relationship, and you know, and the next day there is. It's a numbers game. You know what I mean? So I wish there were guarantees, but there's not. Anyway, let's see what this lady's got to say.
I don't think I'm ever going back. I've seen so many other women saying that they also deleted the app. Dating apps are no longer for dating. Men have just turned dating apps into like an easier way to access convenient sex. And love, we are kind of meant to be found. We're not meant to be actively trying to find love. It's just supposed to be something you stumble into. I don't understand how men got onto dating apps and were like, oh yeah, this is not going to be for dating. I literally was talking to a guy for a month. I was seeing him almost every single week.
Men got onto dating apps and thought it's not going to be for dating. They went to dating apps and it's not going to be for I think she's saying dating as in serious relationships, but she also said beforehand, no, I think it's the lady before actually, saying no, you can go on a dating app and look for serious relationships or something in between. And I think even with the best of intentions, sometimes you might meet somebody and it doesn't always go all the way. You know what I mean? It doesn't always go to marriage. So there is that chance that you might meet somebody and you just don't gel, and you might meet somebody and they might think, okay, listen, I'm more sexually attracted to them, but I'm not in relationship wise attracted to them. And there's different stages where you may well work that out. And of course, there's going to be guys who are only really sexually attracted, but I don't think usually there may well be isolated examples, but I think those guys, as a man, and who knows men, I think those guys are usually quite transparent about how you saw them when they first met you, the things that they say, how quickly they kind of sexualize things, how much interest they had in you as a person, and how quickly did they move you to that point where, you know what I mean, it was kind of one and done or whatever. So, and I'm not necessarily saying that if it happens quick, it's going to necessarily fail. But I think what I'm really saying is, with a little bit of kind of insight and, you know, like reading between the lines, I think it's much easier than what is sometimes portrayed to know the true intentions of a man. But I think with that wishful thinking, sometimes men to women and women to men, you might want something to be what it's not. Anyway, let's move on.
Got me a Valentine's Day gift, all this stuff. Woke up one day and was like, I cannot be in a romantic relationship. Why were you on Hinge? I literally matched with another guy and he's like, oh, what are you on here for? Usually when they ask you what are you on here for, they're either because they actually seriously do want a girlfriend, which is like very never, or because they're trying to see if you want to hook up. So I was like, you know what, let me give this guy like the benefit of the doubt. And I was like, oh, I'm on here trying to find my husband that I could run around the playground with at 2 a.m., being kiki. This guy goes, something similar. I'm also trying to find people to hang out with late at night. I said, hang out.
I was like, you know what, let me give this guy like the benefit of the doubt. And I was like, oh, I'm on here trying to find my husband that I could run around the playground with at 2 a.m., being kiki. This guy goes, something similar. I'm also trying to find people to hang out with late at night. I said, hang out with late at night? What do you mean? He goes,
I'm trying to find my husband who I can run around the playground with at 2 a.m. I don't even know what that means. I think men out there, listen, if somebody... Let me slow this down. I'll slow it down to regular speed because I'm trying to think about, listen, if I was a guy in that situation, I'm trying to meet somebody at 2 a.m. Okay, I understand that bit. Okay. Why else would you meet somebody at 2 a.m.? Or would they started talking at 2 a.m.? I'm not too sure. Anyway, I'm trying to meet somebody at 2 a.m. so I can run around the playground with kids in the playground. She's made a reference to 2 a.m. and something to do with... Anyway, let's see this again.
I was like, you know what, let me give this guy like the benefit of the doubt. And I was like, oh, I'm on here trying to find my husband that I could run around the playground with at 2 a.m., being kiki. This guy goes, something similar. I'm also trying to find people to hang out with late at night. I said, hang out with late at night? What do you mean? He goes, what's wrong with that? I said,
Hang out with late at night? What do you mean? No, you just said some garbage statement which meant nothing. You just repeated it on the video. Like it makes flaming, like it's Shakespeare's just finished. Oh, yes. Just finishing dotting the end of a sentence. You're the one that suggested meeting up late at night. So that's what put it in his mind. You know what, ladies? Any ladies that are watching this is actually quite important video. Words are quite powerful things. Right. So if you say or make suggestive, if you suggest meeting up late at night or right now or in the morning or something like that with a potential husband and you're kind of being playful, then maybe he thinks that you are suggesting to meet a man right then, first thing in the morning, and be playful with him. So he's being playful with you. That's it. So if you never really intended to suggest meeting up with a stranger in the early hours of the morning, then don't suggest it. It's as simple as that. Otherwise, things go in. And if you do make that mistake, you've got to own it. And it's really staring in the face. Wow.
this guy like the benefit of the doubt. And I was like, oh, I'm on here trying to find my husband that I could run around the playground with at 2 a.m., being kiki. This guy goes, something similar. I'm also trying to find people to hang out with late at night. I said, hang out with late at night? What do you mean? He goes, what's wrong with that? I said, what the f are you talking about? He's like, I'm trying to find people to hang out with late at night or early mornings. I said, baby, you're looking for a prostitute. That's what you're on this dating app for?
You know what? At the end of the day, I think as an adult, just going away from the last example, as an adult, I think what adults should be able to do is have grown-up conversations. So say if I was that guy, I'm having an honest conversation. She said her piece already. I accept what she said. That's fair enough. She's sort of in a very confused way displayed her list of wants. And I am also just throwing it out there, nothing to lose, about my list of wants. For whatever he said now. I think he said something about, I want to meet somebody first thing in the morning or last thing at night. And maybe he's feeling sexually charged. And you know what happens in that situation? The other person either says yes or they say no, and we both roll on with our lives. And there's nothing to be confused about. If that man is horny in the moment, that just means he's a normal man. And all you got to do is say no, and you kind of manage conversation to say, listen, that's not what I'm about. If you want to get to know me, then, we'll just crack on with that. And then take it from there. Something words to that effect. Anyway, let's go. Boom.
I said, hang out with late at night? What do you mean? He goes, what's wrong with that? I said, what the f are you talking about? He's like, I'm trying to find people to hang out with late at night or early mornings. I said, baby, you're looking for a prostitute. That's what you're on this dating app for? A lot of the components of dating apps are just so superficial because I genuinely am such a surface level person on first match. You don't hit everything, all those points, I'm not gonna like you. Most of the men I've ever dated were from dating apps, and they were the worst ones, but they were the most beautiful ones. But the guys that I met, either through mutuals or in regular life, they weren't as attractive, but they were so much better. I feel like we get on dating apps because we feel this idea.
You know what? Of course, the people you're going to meet on a broader platform are going to be the more beautiful ones. You don't have to bump into them through the chance of circumstance. Literally everybody. I'm in London. You can imagine how many people are here, and potentially if I was on a dating app, then they could all meet me. or they could all view my profile, and between those, I get the ones I'm more kind of drawn to, for whatever reason, whether it's looks or whatever. So yeah, of course they're gonna be. Of course, they're going to be more of what you're looking for. Just because you can be a little bit more selective because as I say, you're getting more views from it using YouTube speak. Anyway, let's
But
go.
they were the most beautiful ones. But the guys that I met, like either through mutuals or in regular life, they weren't as attractive, but they were so much better. I feel like we get on dating apps because we feel this idea of like scarcity. So hard to find people. I was definitely like that too because I had this whole idea like, how am I ever gonna find someone? There was a time people dated before dating apps. I think if we all put our foot down and we get off the dating apps, men are gonna go back to talking to women in public because they don't do it anymore because it's just so much easier to go on an app and swipe. I really feel like when you get out of the mindset of allowing men to like behave mediocrely with you, when you get out of that.
I've got to say it now because otherwise I'm going to forget. She made a few points and I've already forgotten the other one. But she mentioned something about, if men get off dating apps, then they'll be more likely to, meet people in person again. Listen, men are not allowed to meet women in person. Like, meet them where? Meet them in the gym? Oh, yeah, so somebody can video you and then kind of make you be some kind of stalker level man? Or meet you at work? And then a similar thing happens and next thing you know, you're in front of HR and you're gone? Meet them on the street? Well, maybe you should be able to walk around the street without being harassed. And again, on London Underground, on the London Tube, the London train network, you can't even look at a woman. I'm not even BSing. Honestly, you can't even look at somebody. You can be reported to it's called British Transport Police, and I'm not joking. This is not a drill. So long story short, meeting them in the general public is probably less likely to happen. She did say something else about kind of, I think the people that she meets offline are a little bit more legit, to want to use a different word. I think she's been a little bit less superficial if she's getting away from just the more beautiful people that you may well meet, to say, in that selective filter online, and you go towards the actual qualities of a person. So even if she did the same thing, but she just looked for those things online, I'm sure she'll be more successful. And obviously the relationships that she met offline, also not successful because she's not talking about being in a relationship or married or anything like that. But anyway, let's go.
You'll realize that it's almost impossible for someone to come with like the pressure right off a dating app because they've never had a conversation with you in person. They don't know who you are. How can I expect you to like want to plan an amazing date for me? And the only thing you have to go off of is 4 prompts and some photos of me. When somebody meets you in person, there's more of that initial connection. So they're more likely to be a bit more emotionally involved with you. So this is your sign. Get off the apps. Go find your man at Air One, the gym.
When you meet somebody in person, you have that emotional connection, also like that physical connection. How's about if you're on a dating app and that's your mentality, and I'm definitely not saying that she's wrong, how about just say early on, listen, why don't we just go for a coffee? Why don't we just meet up? I don't know, something like that. Or go through some kind of elementary, is this person normal, or can they hold a conversation, or is everything safe? Can kind of get that kind of gut feeling about things, and then listen, sooner more so than later, just say, listen, messaging online is all good and all, but do you want to meet this thing offline sometime? Something like that. Anyway, let's go.
Anyways, I'm going to Pilates so that I can get my body right and tight. Men have just turned dating apps into like an easier way to access convenient.
No, because let's talk about this. I have been complaining about this religiously to my friends back home, that there is something wrong with all of the men that are left in the dating pool. What is this thing where like you match with someone online, you go on a few dates, you start to like this person, and then when you're like, okay, let's do this, they're like, wait a minute, did you actually think that I wanted to date you? Are you insane? I recently had this happen to me back to back 2 or 3 times, but the most bizarre has to be one of the most recent times. I was matched with this Asian guy named David back in July. And honestly, I don't even know why I told you he was Asian. It doesn't actually even matter to the story. But basically, David and I had like an immediate like animal attraction connection that was like out of this world right away. And immediately we were like, this is amazing. Let's see more of each other. I made the mistake of asking what his schedule was like. And this is where things started to fall apart because he stopped taking my phone calls, would only text me. And when I asked what was wrong, he was just like, oh, you're getting too attached. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, well, you're asking like my schedule and stuff. And I was like, yeah, so we can link up and make plans. And he was like, yeah, but that's like too much. Like, what next? Like next week, you're gonna try to figure out how we're gonna get married. So he and I stopped talking for a few weeks after that. Then at the end of the summer, we linked up again and I went to Spain. During my trip in Spain, David was talking to me every day, sending me sexy photos and videos. We were having a grand old time in the DMs and text. Then all of a sudden one day, ghost. Stopped responding to me, wouldn't acknowledge anything I said to him.
Right, so I need to jump in there. I think, and obviously I don't know David, and I'm not David, basically. Literally, you know my name, Daddy Steve, right? What it sounds like is, yeah, she would, listen, we're giving her the narrator's side of the story, but one thing that we do know is whatever she did say, thinking back, put him off. And what he felt was that she was being a little bit kind of too intrusive on, oh, what day are you free? And she kind of summarised it like, what's your schedule? But maybe it was a little bit more than that. Maybe it was a little bit more, which would put off the average person. Because what she said would not put off the average person. So I'm kind of thinking that possibly, but not definitely, she said a little bit more than that. So, and from there, okay, so then she went to Spain. And then his kind of interest popped up again. Now I'm thinking, and obviously I don't know, I wonder if she was posting some super hot pictures. Because listen, at the end of the day, she's very attractive. But you know, as a man, and this is another thing about how men think, generally speaking. Logically, he was put off by her personality of being a bit too clingy. I'm not saying it's from what she said or from his reaction. I think he felt like she was a little bit too clingy and a little bit too full on. She goes to Spain. All of a sudden he's kind of noticing and picking up and, you know, giving her feedback on those pictures, and she's taking it as interest. But really, guess what it is? I think the guys know what it is. It's a sexual interest. It's sexual interest. He's got two heads he's thinking with, and he's thinking with one. He's thinking with his urges. That's what it is. So I think for women, let's just keep this in mind, that men are driven that way. You know. Anyway, let's see what else she's got to say.
And after I tried reaching out to him 2 days in a row, told me that I was behaving like a stalker and to take a hit, bro, and to leave him alone. So I did. He proceeded to block me on his phone, unfollow me on Instagram. And so I was like, okay, that's it. Things are done. Tell me why from September to January, David would...
Again, he called her, the S word. He blocked her and deleted her. And again, so what she says, I just messaged him for 2 days. Back to back. Oh, I just messaged him 2 days. What did you put in those messages which led to that reaction? Anyway, let's go back a little bit. I don't want to miss it. So let's go.
Stopped responding to me, wouldn't acknowledge anything I said to him. And after I tried reaching out to him 2 days in a row, told me that I was behaving like a stalker and to take a hit, bro, and to leave him alone. So I did. He proceeded to block me on his phone, unfollow me on Instagram. And so I was like, okay, that's it. Things are done. Tell me why from September to January, David would pop up in my Instagram stories every week. I would see him watching my Instagram stories. Do you understand how bananas it is to block and delete someone, unfollow them on Instagram, and then to physically type their name in every time you want to sneak and look and watch to see what they're doing? So cut to January, I'm on Hinge. David somehow manages to rematch me. Now, what's bizarre is I saw David still connected in my matches in December. So I don't...
Okay, so he's on Hinge. Just going back to the Instagram thing. Listen, he wants to F you. He wants to F you, basically. You know what I mean? He wants to have a little bit of naughty time. That's it. I'm pretty convinced. But he also does see you as toxic, but attractive. And possibly a little bit... I'm not saying that she is, but possibly a little bit crazy. I think that's how... Listen to that story that he said before about him blocking her and a little bit too full on, or a lot too full on. We're going down the crazy route, aren't we? You know what I mean? But still, he's attracted to her. I think that's all it is.
Know what he's done to rematch me in January. So I go and I check my phone. I see that I'm no longer blocked. So I text him and I'm like, did you match me on Hinge? And he responds back with, yes, I did. Crickets. Like, that's it. Just, yes, I did. No follow-up. And I was like... I let it sit. I let that text sit for 1 week to see if he would say anything else. No follow-up. So I was like, okay, this is getting the better of my curiosity. I'm gonna do it for the plot. I rematch him on Hinge, and I'm like, hey, what's going on, buddy? He's like, hey, well, I see that you're still on here, and I sent you an apology like 3 weeks after we stopped talking, but you never responded because you blocked me. So I was like, okay. Long story short, we reconnected. We hung out for this whole weekend, had the most amazing weekend. His best friend was in town. All three of us hung out. When we weren't hanging out, the three of us, the two of us were like back to normal, being very, very lovey-dovey, having a grand old time. At the end of this weekend, I kid you not, I tried to pull this man into an embrace while we were walking his jog. And I'm not even joking. I literally got one of these. Like, and I, like my soul left my body. Because I was like, what is going on? And he's like, don't get attached to me. Do not get attached to me. I have never been in a situation where...
No, I was just thinking about that kind of face, that palm to face, face palm. No, that's face palm in it, but it was like palm to face. Think about the staccato. I mean, I've sped it up, so it's a little bit unfair, but I was just trying to think about the energy. So I don't want to put it all on her, but she's the only person that we got to go by, isn't it? We can't see him to balance it out, but I think she's, I don't know, I just got a suspicion that she might be full on. I don't know for sure. Anyway, let's hear the end.
One person has tried so hard to get back a hold of me, to get back into my life, to rematch me on a dating website. And then when I forgive them and let them back in, then I'm told to not get I went home and I was just like, I need to think, The following weekend, I see that he goes out and he's clearly on a date. I don't know who with, but I message him because now I'm livid. And I'm just like, what is going on? Why are we doing this? Why did you rematch me? Why are you back in my life? Like, I was doing okay. I had started getting better. I had started moving on. Why are you here? And he was like, what do you mean?
I started getting better. I started moving on. There's a little bit of mental health there. A little bit of mental health, but I'm going to cut to the end. I'm going to say now. I'm going to say at the end. Listen, he just wanted to F you. He just wanted the naughty. That's it. Again, for what I said before, still applies. And at this lady's age, and I say she's an attractive lady. She definitely is. At this lady's age, you'd think that she knows men core drives. Yeah, yes, we want to get to know people. Yes, we obviously do get married, and yes, we do go into relationships. But also, we are very, sexually driven. So just keep that in your mind. Basics.
I was like, why would you match me if you have no actual intention of dating me? And he's like, I told you, I thought we actually cleared this up because we did have a conversation about all the stuff that went wrong. And one of the things that he told me was that he is struggling with his emotions and he needs to work on his self, and he has anger management problems because of what his ex did to him. And he's trying to get better. But yeah, he does hope that one day
he gave you it's not you, it's me.
He's going to find someone who's going to give him butterflies and be able to fix him. And when I told him how messed up and ideal that was, he was like, no, I'm half joking. I don't really mean that. But I do have a lot of things that I'm working through, so I'm not really in a state to date anybody. And I was just like, but then you went through all that effort to literally match me on a dating website to date me, so it would make it make sense. And he started acting like I was the insane one. And he was just like, I've already told you, I'm not in a position to date anyone. And I was like, then why are you on this website? And he was like,
what I'm thinking is, that the weekend that she said, there's two things I'm thinking, did they sleep together? Because that may well be a prime driver. Did he actually intend to hang out with the friend and she's the third person, the third wheel? Because I'm not getting the sense that he intends to hang out with her and tag the friend along. And I've got to think about how old she is or how old he is. Very unlikely that you'd ever invite a third person to come out with your girl. I mean, why would you do it? They don't necessarily know each other. It doesn't make no sense. And even if they did, I mean, why would you do it? You just wouldn't do it. So I'm thinking now, she was the third wheel, and I don't know. It was just attractive. He's got an attraction to her, but nothing else. And I think that's as complicated as it gets.
I don't know. I don't know why I'm on there, because I do want to find someone, but at the same time, I don't want to find someone. I'm also very confused too, but I do know that I can't be with you, and you already expect too much, and you're already too attached. So I need to do my own thing, and you need to go do your own thing too.
That bit was about why is he online if he doesn't want to meet people, and obviously the true answer would be no, he doesn't want to meet you. And I know that you mean her, obviously. And I know that he matched with her, or she said that she matched with him this time. He's attracted to you, but he sees you. What did he say, that you were stalking him or something like that? And not just too full on, and it's just not personality wise. He's not into you, but like attraction wise, physically, beauty, yeah, definitely. I think I can get that sense. I don't even know him, but yeah, let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree. Hopefully the story's coming to an end, even though it is kind of interesting and bizarre and keeps it going snaky left, right. Anyway, let's go.
I don't know. I just don't know what to do anymore. I think it's just time to abandon this planet and maybe just find men on Mars.
Seriously trying to date and find a significant
Solution, abandon the planet. I think that's a throwaway comment. Anyway, please like, subscribe. Fascinating. Look, we're about kind of 18 minutes 55 through this kind of selection of videos, and there's always a little bit of deep dive in there, and some analysis to give. Got a degree in psychology as well as my master's in economics. Please like, subscribe. Don't forget to click on the notifications, just so you don't miss any amazing content. That is Steve, and I am out.